I'm Carl Correll, this is Music Gear Monday, and today we're talking about the CDJ-3000s, some of the pros and cons, maybe some reasons why you would get these guys. So let's hop into it. So currently I have a CDJ-3000s running into a DJM-S11. A lot of new features that we'll go over on this guy in another video, but today we are talking about these guys, CDJ-3000s. Just an overview of the CDJs. They are still called CDJs, even though there's no CD slot in these guys anymore. So they are just strictly media players. So on the back of these CDJs, you have a USB that actually allows you to be able to control this guy with software via Serato's HID mode, which hopefully comes out soon. Tractor control or record box, you're able to see your tracks, scroll through your tracks, set up cue points, different things like that. You have your link, it's just that little Cat5 cable that allows you to link both decks together. You have your RCA out to go to your mixer, and you also have a digital out that you can link to a DJM-900 Nexus, which allow you to preview your tracks, I believe. Standard power button over here, power cable here, Kingston locking mechanism here, some weighted feet. That's pretty much it. These guys aren't very heavy. If you're coming from turntables, you will appreciate that, going from gig to gig. Some of the things I dig on these CDJs, being able to link one source. So I have an SD card in this right one here, but I'm able to see all the tracks from this SD card in both. You can link your CDJs and you can play off of one source. That way when you're changing over and the next DJ comes in, they can plug their thumb drive in or their SD card in and search through their music and hop right in, keep the music rolling. I find that to be a really, really dope feature. When you do load a track, you have this massive waveform that you could see here.
You win!
Still have your little strip down here that you could see, you know, kind of this preview. And you can also, on the opposing CDJ, the one you're going to bring a track in, you could see your little strip right here that gives you the bars. You're able to line up your track up here, see that other waveform, mix in that next record. So that's kind of a cool feature on these guys. Strictly media players, you can use SD cards, you can use USB sticks on these guys. Doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi on these models, not yet. That's something you see in the Denon CDJs. Some of the things that have been updated, you got your cue points, you got a larger screen, so massive screen up here. Still have the touch screen, menu options, you have beat loop, key shift, beat jump. You still have that jog mode versus vinyl feature. You have your slip, reverse, beat loop, in and out. You could delete and add those cues. You have the touchscreen to select the track you want to load. On the CDJ-2000's Nexus version, you had the option to be able to see your tracks in key, and in record box, the update, you are able to sort in alphanumeric. For some reason, I was never able to do that, but on these guys, they actually show up in alphanumeric, and you also have this matching option to see what tracks actually go with the current track you're playing, and they will show up highlighted in green. So if you're mixing and you want to bounce around BPM and you want to find different tracks that kind of go with the track that you're playing, your track should show up in alphanumeric. Sometimes you'll see the key, but it depends on how you have it sorted in record box. A couple of reasons why the CDJs have become kind of the club standard around the world. Reliability. I've seen CDJs be used in the hottest, dustiest, sweatiest spaces ever, and I have not seen these guys fail. We just played a show at Red Rocks a couple of days ago, and these guys were sitting in 95-degree heat for over 2 hours before we even started playing on them, and they ran flawlessly. And anybody that knows that's played on laptop in Vegas or California or wherever there's a lot of heat, you've definitely ran into this problem where your computer starts to overheat and you need to get a bucket of ice, dry ice, fans to put under that guy so that it doesn't crash on you. And I have yet to see CDJs crash in the heat. So that's one benefit that I think is great about getting CDJs, is that they are very reliable. One thing I do love about these guys is that you're able to show up to any gig, pop your thumb drive in or your SD card in, and you're good to go. So the main thing that you would have to show up for, having that set prepared on that thumb drive. Some of the downfalls or some of the cons of the CDJs could be, one, the price. The price is very steep on CDJs. So unless you're somebody that plays very frequently, has a lot of gigs and needs something reliable, these might be a little steep. These guys start in just under $3,000. The other drawback of a CDJ is if you're somebody that's used to playing on vinyl, being able to cut and scratch and things like that, these guys are something that you have to get used to, having this jog wheel that is stationary versus having a turntable that spins. Not necessarily a con, but definitely something that you'll notice. I wished these buttons with the cue points were rubberized and had a little bit more feedback to them as far as being able to tap in your track, something similar to what is on a DJM. But obviously a lot of people that play on CDJs aren't really worried about all their different cue points and tapping and stuff. They're more worried about clean blends, long transitions, and things like that. But there are still a lot of people that play hip hop in open format that rock on CDJs that I think would benefit from these cue points, you know, doing different routines and stuff like that. HID mode is not available on the CDJ-3000s as of yet, as I'm making this video, but things may change. Almost a year now since these guys released. When something releases, all the other companies that want to get involved typically fall in line a year or so after. I think those are the two main things I would say are just something you'd have to adjust to. Playing on CDJs versus playing on a laptop, like I said before, reliability, having to worry about that laptop crash, the software fail. There's always new operating systems coming out. There's always updates that you have to worry about. With the CDJs, they're gonna have the same CDJ software in them. They might have an update here and there just to make them run more efficiently, but it's nothing drastic. They have a certain reliability to them that's gonna outlast a lot of other things on the market. I've seen some people buy controllers and use them for a summer and then go, okay, I don't like this controller anymore, and get rid of them. That is one thing that is great about these guys, is that they last a very long time. The other reason why you're going to see CDJs by Pioneer in a lot of the clubs is because Pioneer has a name for itself. They've been around for a really long time and they make reliable gear. They are very reliable. They're worth the investment if you're somebody that is going to be playing a lot of gigs. There's something that lasts. I mean, if you look at the CDJ-1000, 2000s are still being used to this day. Pioneer is dominating the CDJ game. You'll see them in all the festivals and all the clubs. I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon. If I was looking at CDJs in the Pioneer realm, I would probably look at getting the 3000s, just because there's a lot of little features that I think are really, really cool. Denon actually has CDJs out and coming out. You won't see the Denons as much in the clubs yet, but I think there's room for them, and I think you're gonna start seeing more Denon products out there in some more professional settings. For anybody that wants to get into playing on CDJs, I recommend looking into Rekordbox, looking into Rekordbox controllers, setting up your music library in Rekordbox. That's going to make it easy for you to transition into these Pioneer CDJs, because that's what the software is built around. You could still use Serato, you could still use Tractor, but you're going to have to find a way to format your music to be able to be played on this guy. What do you like to play on? Are you a CDJ person? Are you a turntable person? Are you a controller person? Drop it in the comments below. I'm Carl Carell. That's going to be it for Music Gear Monday, and we'll catch you here next week, guys. Peace.